Hello, I'm Kaylee Thomas, Director of Marketing here at KORE, and joining me today for our Quickfire interview is Graham Doe. He's the Director of Business Development for UK and Ireland from Everynet. Graham, it's great to speak to you today on the topic of LoRaWAN.
Yeah, great to see you and thanks for inviting me.
Thanks so much, Graham. So let's get stuck in. LoRaWAN is often seen as an answer to address massive IoT requirements due to the simplicity, scalability, and availability. Can you share some of those massive IoT use cases that LoRaWAN is helping address?
Absolutely. So as you said, LoRaWAN is a great technology. It's scalable, it's ultra low cost, and it's empowering both public and private sector companies to deliver solutions that previously were unavailable to them. And the way we're designing the network, it's taking out both the cost and complexity of building networks. So it is opening up some interesting avenues. In terms of Everynet and solutions we're offering, there's probably three interesting use cases I'd like to talk about. The first is utilities. So applications are quite broad in utilities and range from remote monitoring of the networks, so water networks and electricity networks and gas networks, for examples, gathering data on the system operations, everything from leakage to control, but also then going right through to the customer solutions, so providing domestic and commercial metering solutions. So as I said, there's a whole broad range of solutions there. The other area is supply chain logistics. So obviously it's quite a traditional market, supply chain logistics for IoT. The nature of technology is allowing tracking and monitoring of assets that again previously weren't operational for commercial reasons, so things like pallets, containers, and other individual goods. So adding in geolocation and cold chain monitoring, suddenly companies have the ability to effectively manage the end-to-end solution, and as well as looking at what the vehicles are doing, they can look at the individual goods and track them through the supply chain, potentially looking at condition and arrival of assets at a particular location. Then the final one, smart infrastructure. This is everything from buildings to city assets. So it could include everything from checking air quality monitoring, monitoring the status of buildings, infrastructure in the buildings such as lighting, HVAC systems, and then other things critical to the occupants of the building, Legionella monitoring, for example. So it's all critical components to the safe operation and management of the building and the residents of the buildings as well.
Blimey, that's a lot broader than I'd initially thought, actually. And I wonder from a customer's perspective, when they look at deploying IoT, I wonder if often cellular connectivity is like the default choice. So where does LoRaWAN differ?
Yeah, as you say, cellular connectivity has been delivering solutions for a long time now and still remains the ideal solution for devices that communicate regularly, need to send large amounts of data. The flip side of that is when you're sending large amounts of data, power becomes a constraint. So quite often the end solutions need to be powered. They potentially need access to mains power. So as you mentioned, LoRaWAN is designed to wirelessly connect battery-operated solutions, and as this suggests, the network can support very, very low-powered sensor devices, and which is great. It means they're potentially a lot cheaper, and they can be in the field for a large number of years. So so actually then finding, LoRaWAN becomes very complementary to cellular. So, give you, a good example, look at connected vehicles. Cellular technology is great for the data hungry applications such as tracking of vehicles, dash cam, sorry, and, the general telematics. But then, LoRaWAN can offer connection to other sensors which are battery powered, simple things like the individual assets in the vehicle or conditions in the vehicle, and the great thing is even at the vehicles at a standstill and the power's gone, they can still communicate. So as you can see, they works really well together, very complementary technologies.
Interesting. So building on some of those elements that you spoke about, are there any special factors to consider when deploying a LoRaWAN solution?
Yeah, I mean, as with every IoT solution, I think it's making sure you're choosing the right technology to solve your problem. As I said, LoRaWAN's a great technology to support monitoring solutions that don't require a large amount of data to be transferred. But if you're looking to transfer large amounts of data, then absolutely look at other technologies. I think the other thing, coverage is also going to be key. Everynet, as we mentioned, we're building nationwide LoRaWAN networks, but we could also densify those networks, so get network into areas that were traditionally hard to reach. So deploy deep in buildings. So actually, it makes areas in the buildings and actual assets in the buildings that weren't previously connected. And finally, the last thing with all IoT solutions, LoRaWAN, cellular across the board, I think you always have to consider what you're looking to find out and what you're going to do with the data to extract the insight that's going to be useful to you as a customer or your end customers as well. I mean, the great thing is, working with organizations like KORE, you've been on that journey yourselves and with a number of clients as well, it can really help that decision-making process and identify the factors that are important when it comes to deciding the right solution.
Absolutely. I think that's very interesting, and hopefully will be some key tips there for customers potentially looking at LoRaWAN as a connectivity offering. And it's clear to see with some of those use cases that you shared as well that it will work best utilizing long-range connectivity for low power consumption. And with that, I just want to thank Graham very much for joining us on today's Quickfire interview. And to those who've watched this video, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And just as a quick note, KORE does offer a SaaS-based service delivery platform that provides an easy and friendly interface to deploy and manage LoRaWAN devices on multiple public and private LoRaWAN networks. So if you want to find out more information, please go to korewireless.com.